Learn to be super successful. Subscribe to my channel, Meathead. Of the talk. And then finally, in the conversation, somehow it came up with what is the cricket bat for? And so I took the cricket bat and I jumped down off the podium and I got about this close and I said, this is for security. And 3/4 of the audience didn't know what I was talking about. This is where we are in the world today. Security for what? What are you going to do with a cricket bat? As God is my witness. And Sally was sitting, I forget, like here. What the fuck? And I said, because I'm going to crush a few skulls. And even though there's 400 of you, because you don't want to be the 1 or 3 or 5 that I hit, you stay where you are. That's all about crowd control. And they were mortified that I would have hit somebody. But I mean, you're coming, you know, I'm not just going to go hit you. And during the cocktails, we have hors d'oeuvres, and they treated us very nicely. They couldn't have been a more polite crowd at University of Toronto. They kept asking, would he really hit anybody? And then, yeah, I would have, if it came to that. But I'm going to take my cricket bat. When I go to speak, I've been asked to speak at the LAPD, detectives. And so I'm going to take that just for fun because I'm in a room of 700 or 800 cops. And now they want to take me out to drinks afterwards. They're disappointed I can only drink with them for an hour because then I've got to be someplace else. But yeah, everybody's got a plan. But cold calling to some of you is worse than that in your mind, between your ears, but it's not. Well, I have made cold calls in person that I got slapped and punched, but I mean, for the most part, you're going to be making cold calls like this, and so that's not going to happen. You may think it's going to happen, and in everybody's eyes, you could see the tenseness, you could see the adrenaline building up, and this is one round. Although we've got the pundits on YouTube, they want 5-minute rounds, you know, to the death in the cave, you know, but that's easy, but they're flapping their lips behind YouTube, behind anonymity of a computer. But it's a great experience, and we've had, other than this appears the first time we haven't had an injury. Nobody. You had an injury?
Not from the. Oh,
no.
Not from.
No.
Yeah.
But we've had an injury every time, and normally it's torn bicep muscles, but getting knocked out. But if getting knocked out meant that you were going to lose, if you subtract, I lost brain cells every time I got knocked out. I must have had a 500 IQ then at one time, because. But it's good experience. It's good experience. But we have kids in this, maybe in this room. I don't want you to tell me that you've never been yelled at by your parents. You've never been spanked by your parents. You've never been disciplined by an adult. You've never been in a school yard fight, you know, when kids fight, in your whole lives. I don't see how that's possible. I mean, I just can't understand. But then I see the results. I see the results. And now I'm not, nobody should have got beat like I did, okay? But I deserved every beating I got from my father. I'm not so sure I deserved every beating I got from the nuns and the priests, because they were just into whacking you, you know. But I certainly, by my dad. And, because I was a terrible kid, you know. You know how you go, they say terrible twos. Well, my terrible twos lasted until I was 31, because I was forever getting in trouble. And it's a great exercise, and I enjoy watching you guys. And when I almost, about the third time we did it, I almost got knocked out of the ring. I was a ref. We had 2 heavyweight guys, and one connected with one, and he came in to me, and we both almost went over the ropes. That's when Sally said, we need a referee. We need a professional in there. She says, the last thing we need is for you to get knocked out of the ring, not even fighting, and break your back, your neck, your arm, or whatever. From insurance purposes, I still want to get in the ring. But the insurance goes at a different level if I get in the ring, and the premiums go up a jillion times. And that's not an excuse, but I feel a kindred spirit. I want to go in there, especially when we all see, well, he should have kept punching. He should have kept his hands up. Everybody's got a methodology, except you're not the one getting beat on. And the doctor from the last last seminar was a medical doctor from Canada who's fed up with medicine, and he is going to roll up bedpans. And so he got in there. He had never been in the ring. He had never hit anybody, nothing. But I told him, just go in there and you're hitting your patients you don't like. Just think of it that way. And I mean, he just went wild, overhand after overhand after overhand. And because, you know, not all doctors have that bedside manner. Some doctors don't have any bedside manner, as far as I can tell, unless he's going to get in bed with them. And I think they have laws against doctors sleeping with their patients. But it's a great exercise, and I'm glad we're working on a different variation of this for later on in the year, where we have some notable real fighters come in and do an exhibition, or pretend like you can punch them and shit like that. They haven't agreed to the pretend punching yet, but or maybe be a second referee or a backup referee, which I'm sure that most of the folks will enjoy. But it's one of the most popular things that we have on social media is the fighting, even though it only lasts a minute. We get more comments about the fighting than we do anything else. And I'm sure because of the luminary that we have here, that got in the ring, and all his millions don't love him, contrary to popular belief. So it was a good time. Any questions or comments about the boxing or the fighting, or anything else?
Just it's super easy to be fearful of the unknown, especially if you've never done it before. Maybe that means a deal, or maybe even getting in the ring. But just like everything else in life, it's not that complicated. It's not that scary. And once you do it once, you'll realize this isn't such a fucking big deal. Yet, it might keep you your whole life from doing a deal.
Correct.
Making a cold call, or getting in the ring.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Because these fears, these phantoms that make us play these small lives, but it's no big fucking deal again.
No, it isn't. And as I say, just pull the fucking trigger, or just... And it's only a minute, and in a real boxing, you wouldn't come out with such energy because you'd have other rounds, you'd be feeling the guy out, blah, blah, blah. But in these 1 minute, and it's a minute of real fighting. So it seems like a long minute because every time they stop the referee to talk to you, the clock stops. So it's actually longer than a minute round. But I mean, virtually everybody that was in there was out of breath. Virtually everybody was in there. Probably has more respect for guys that box and engage in full contact martial arts, because it's not easy. And I tell the kids that I like boxing for you to do boxing better than the other stuff, unless it's full contact. If it's full contact karate, full contact, that's fine. Instead of the pulling the punches where you almost hit them, you can get a great workout. And we have maybe 10% of the kids are into boxing now, once or twice a week, and about probably 25% of the gals are into boxing, and we've had 3 or 4 gals that could box, really knew what the fuck they were doing. One of which was Margot, the French girl, but it's a great discipline, and it's a great exercise, and it's very germane into what QLA is about, and it's going that step, no matter you see shadows, no matter you see boogeymen, etc., and forcing yourself to push yourself outside your comfort zone. And that's what it's about, to push yourself outside your comfort zone. And when in the reporting system, what did you do to scare yourself? If it's martial arts and it's full contact, and you're not, a pro or something like that, because we've had some really sophisticated boxers come through that didn't say they were boxers, and it was obvious that they knew what they were doing. And those are the guys that knocked out. Most of the people that got knocked out by those guys, because they really, knew what they were doing. And But whether you know what you were doing up there or not, I mean, the fact that you did it, and if you didn't do it, it doesn't matter. The fact that you witnessed it is important because that you're not going to. I've had meetings break down in Texas where the accountants and the lawyers stepped out in the parking lot to fight it out. I've seen that with my own eyes. It wasn't Big 4 then; it was Big 8 accountants with my own eyes. And I said, "Well, where are they? They're out in the parking lot. You can look from the window, and it's a street fight. They're jumping on them when they're down. The suits are getting all fucked up, you know." And that's how we decided it was a 16 million tax issue at a big close. And so, well, okay, whoever wins will go your way. Fortunately, our accountants, both of which were ex-fighters that fought for University of Texas, okay, that's fine with us. We like that idea. And so we got the $16 million twist on our side. And of course, then is it a disclosable item? How was it decided that they got that credit? Now, I was against saying that it was over a fist fight in the parking lot. And so they finally got a hold of the managing partner for that area, for both firms, and they said, we agree with Mr. Peña. We don't think that the footnotes should say, it was just over a vehement disagreement. The other side acquiesced, and the buyers, which were us, got a $16.7 million tax credit. But it was settled in the parking lot, and a couple of those guys, they're all retired now, but a couple of those guys have kept those suits that got ripped up in the parking lot. And but I've also seen fights break out in New York, Wall Street firms. They didn't go in the street. The guy just jumped on his desk and leaped on the guy with a phone in his hand, hitting him in the head. And so that's more the Manhattan way, maybe the Cuban way too. You hit him with what you've got.
In the pits too.
Pardon? On
the trading floor.
Yep. Oh, yeah. A lot on the trading floor. When I was a member of the Chicago Board of Trade many years ago, as part of my Wall Street endeavors, the guys in the pits, I mean, I saw a big guy get cold-cocked, because this big guy's an ex-football player. The only way that anybody would fight with him is if they hit him from behind. And they did. And they put him down, I think it was in the soybean pit. Okay, 7 o'clock, we're meeting here. It's fish and chip night. And for those of you that are in your gym equipment, go back and get redressed. And if there's no questions, then I will see you guys, and I'm going to start filming now in a few minutes. So if you clear out this room.
Banker.
Pardon?
Banker.
I haven't forgotten. You're not, are you leaving tonight? Well, wait. Are you leaving tonight? Yeah, is he leaving tonight? No, okay, so we'll see you at dinner. Thank you. And then a hand for the guy's spot.